Good morning, YouTube. It is about 6:30 a.m. The sun has just woken up, and so have I. So we're just gonna get out of bed and get ready to start our day. Yeah, so once you wipe the sleep out of your face, gotta do up your hair. That's how I get my curls like that. Chalupa is not having any of this. He's not really a morning person. But yeah, so I haven't really told you guys, but I kind of decided to run away. I was just kind of fed up with staying at my parents' house, and yeah, I was just out of there early in the morning. But about 20 seconds later, I realized that was probably a dumb idea. I didn't really have a plan. I didn't know where I was going. I just turned around, came right back home. But the weather was really nice. I decided I was going to go for a run. After that, you guys know me. This is my breakfast. This is one of the best meals of the day. Tell me about you guys. I used to drink my coffee just black, and then I kind of advanced to the next level. I took a little bit of maybe 2% milk. I was probably one of those people. Eventually moved on to whole milk. I really do enjoy whole milk, and it has a lot of good baking properties. But this almond breeze, the vanilla flavor, I'm down with it. I put some of that in my coffee nowadays. Oh, that's too much, but that's okay. After that, man, the forecast for Texas is nice. I mean, now to Ben with the weather. Thanks, Ben. Forecast for Texas is nice. It did sprinkle on me a little bit while I ran, but man, look at those clouds. The sun is shining. The birds are singing. The flowers are flowering. Chalupa's, wandering about. 100% chance of Ben's toes in the shot. Yeah, okay, that was weird. Today we're going to be making dovetails. Dovetails are a type of joinery used in most commonly woodworking. It can be used in metalworking or whatever you want to use it for. But it's really nice. It's beautiful looking. It is very strong. I don't know why I thought I was going to be using all these pieces of wood. It's just for practice, but I only used 2 pieces because it took me all day just to make one set of dovetails. Yeah, this was a learning experience for me. I've done dovetails before once in the past, but that was like several years ago. So this time I was kind of excited to maybe take it up another level, and I don't know how big that level was gonna be, but I was like, hey, I can do a little bit of planing and stuff to the stock to get it nice and nice, but I wish I would have spent more time on this to get the faces like level, parallel with one another. Okay, cool, nice, Ben. And then I used the shooting board, which I just made yesterday, actually. I'm still not experienced with it. It's not easy for me to use. I need to lower the elevation of where I use it because it bothers my shoulder as it is. And I couldn't get it 90 degrees. I was like, why? I still don't know why, but I did get, towards the end, I really didn't film my whole struggle with it. I did struggle for quite a while, but I did get it a little bit better at the end. I also ended up just putting in the vise and kind of planing some of the end grain. It's not really cheating, you're just using a different method. But yeah, I'm just going through the process with the second piece of wood, making sure to check your work. You don't want big gaps or anything noticeable. This is going to be practice, of course. I'm not using it for anything. It's just for the sake of doing the chisel practice. Oh yeah, this cat was like 5 feet away from me inside of my garage. It freaked me out. It's come in there before, but I would like see it walking up. This time I just turned to the side and it was there. Okay, back to reality, I guess. I'm laying out which way the wood is going to be facing when I put them together. It's common for you to flip them and flop them, but you want to be able to mark them so you can be consistent. My other big learning experience was laying out where the joints are going to go. All like the tails and the pins, and using a marking knife or a marking gauge. See, I don't have a marking gauge, and you don't really need one. You just need rulers and probably a sharp knife and a pencil. See, like here, this is something I just kind of came up with to get the taper right. It did take me a little while to get these angles on there. But like I just would have spent more time laying them out so that they're more accurate and using the knife to be consistent on all sides. And see, you just when you try to use the marking gauge or whatever marking system you're using, it really helps if your stock is like square and flat and parallel and everything. Otherwise, your marks, even if they look good, they're gonna be kind of off. That really didn't come to bite me in the end too much, but I've struggled with that a lot in the past, and I know it could have made the joints better in this case. But I was sort of, maybe I'm just sort of afraid of doing these markings and everything because I know I'm gonna mess it up, or it's just kind of intimidating to me. That's why I just kind of blow by them real quick. I just want to cut the wood. I don't really want to take care to mark all my measurements accurately. Make sure you're sawing on the waist side of the wood. I've made that mistake far too often, and I have cut down here a little bit into the face of the pin. Oh no, is it a pin or is it a tail? I'm a phony. I'm not a real woodworker. I don't know what is called what. So that's kind of the thing about this. I mean, I'm a very beginner at these dovetail joints, but I've probably watched countless hours on YouTube of people making them, not just for projects, but like just for the sake of teaching us how to make dovetails. Yes, I love to watch on YouTube, and you really just don't know it until you actually do it. You're gonna forget, you're gonna be kind of confused once you actually get out there. It's gonna be a lot harder than the professionals who have been doing it for 30 years make it seem on YouTube. So that is kind of a big point of this channel as well. I just want to share with you, like, yeah, I've been watching everybody do them well for so long, and I'm like, I can do that. And so it's really easy to get discouraged when you try and do it, but it sucks. You're just like, why? Well, you don't practice. So at a certain point, you just gotta stop watching the YouTube and be like, okay, I don't know what's next, but let's figure it out. Let me figure out how to continue from here with my tools, with my circumstances and everything. That's my TED Talk. Now I'm gonna be working on the second piece, the receiving end. They'll mate together, and I'm using the actual tail board as the reference for marking up the pins. I'm just using an X-Acto knife. It's not ideal, maybe. It's not ideal for me. It's kind of really thin knife. It can kind of wobble a lot. But anyway, cutting out the wood's fun. I guess. Yeah, no, it's fun. I don't know why I said I guess. It's kind of nerve-wracking because you have to cut straight and whatever, you know, the pros can make that line like they won't change it. Once they cut it with the saw, like that's it. It's permanent. Not me, not Ben. But that's okay. I just want to make sure I'm cutting on the waist side so I don't screw them up. And when you go through with the coping saw, you want to make sure that you angle it along with like the angles of those pins. So if instead of going like 90 degrees to the face, you're going to end up cutting into part of those little pins. You want to angle it. That's all I'm saying. I've forgotten to do that. And so yeah, that's kind of how it's going to go together. I got a little bit more work to do with the chisel. Oh, I switched to a different lens at this point. I wanted to zoom in for you guys because I was enjoying it up until all of the end grains started to like really chip out on me. I have no, see, I was not happy. I had no idea why I was doing that. I could take some guesses. I thought my chisel was sharp. Maybe it's not sharp enough. Maybe I needed to resharpen it. I probably used it extensively on the last project. Also, be careful not to chisel into the important parts of your wood. You gotta angle with it. That was kind of disappointing. I think also maybe the cedar wood is just not very agreeable. Although I've gotten nice end grain on cedar wood, so who am I to complain? I'm just curious. Like it hasn't been that bad for me before, so I'm not sure why it was chipping out so bad in this scenario. You can see there the shoulders look nice and crisp. When I flip it on to the other side, It's not the same, my friend. This is a little bit disappointing, but in the end, it's not going to be seen. It's, yeah, the other piece is just going to be right on top of it. But it's kind of, I don't know, sad that it doesn't look good. But that's what practice is for. I'm just going to be spending the rest of the time flattening out the faces and the shoulders. You kind of want to dig, see I'm kind of angling the chisel down into the end grain in the middle, so it's kind of like a hollow. That's better than having it bumped up, because then the joints won't mate or like seat properly. So that's what I'm doing there. And I advise you not to chisel downward onto the cheeks of those pins. I turned the whole piece of wood sideways. It's just, yeah, I turned it there, although I don't show you my progress. Anyway, I just take little by little off, and it's starting to come together. Yeah, I was happy. It really wasn't looking pretty. I'm sorry I'm standing right in front of the camera. I thought you could see it. It never looked pretty the entire time, but at a certain point I put it on and I was starting to squeeze it together and I was like, oh no, this is going all the way. Not that that's bad, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for it. Look at that thing. See? It was never loose and it was never super tight. So I was like, okay, it kind of snuck up on me. And at a certain point you really just have to commit. You put the glue in there and then you whack it home. And it's fun. You just kind of hope and pray, and it's practice. I mean, we're talking about practice here. That's why we do it. Whack, whack, whack. I made that mallet, by the way, a couple weeks ago. That was a really fun project. Too bad I didn't take you guys along with me, but I wasn't doing the YouTube back then. You can put some sawdust and some glue together to make a nice little wood filler. And there's that. I'm going to let it dry and I'll plane down the faces so it looks a little bit nicer. Take the glue off. But I mean, overall, very satisfied. I am satisfied with it. It doesn't look amazing, but like if you're not looking closely, trying to inspect it for perfection, then it's going to be totally cool. Like it really is. This was fun. This was satisfying for me. I wish I would have planed down a little bit more to get that glue off of that one end grain piece. But look at that. I kind of show you. There's a little bit of gaps. Maybe I could have squeezed it a little bit harder with the clamp. There's a gap there. On the other side, there's a little bit of gaps. It didn't seat all the way down. That's why I say maybe a clamp would have pressed it all the way in. But yeah, look at that. It's practice. I haven't done that in years. Go ahead, take a last hit and boom. Made some dovetails. Thanks for watching.